So the next section in the business model canvas are the key resources. And this is pretty much as it says. What are the resources that you need for your business to make the business model work? Yeah. What do you physically or intellectually need for the business to get it off the ground? And broadly, you can divide the resources that you need into 2 or 3 different categories. So 4 categories. These are physical, financial, human, and intellectual. We'll start off with physical. So the physical resources are, think back to the Victorian era and big factories, steam engines, physical delivery fleet, the lorries, the trucks, the ships, the oil rigs, the mines, the cars, the computers, the point of sale equipment, anything that's physical that you need to buy that's going to have a space and is going to contribute towards the generation of the value proposition or the collection of revenue from it. Then there are the financial resources. Now, we all need cash to start up. Many businesses will need a large amount of cash to support inventory or to support their cash cycle. I was talking to a guy the other day. His business makes climbing equipment and he purchases the products or has them made in China, and then it takes 3 to 4 months before he's able to then get them to the customers to be sold. And so he then needs a large amount of cash to sustain his operations through that period. Other companies may need credit line. Trading companies will need credit. A housing developer borrows money from the bank to build the houses, and then as he sells off the houses, he then pays off the bank. So there's lots of reasons for the cash. And generally, when we talk about financial resources at this point in the business model, we're thinking, where do we need specific financial resources for this particular type of business model rather than just cash to sustain normal operations? Yes, what types of cash are different from just businesses as normal? And those are what you need to capture. The next aspect is intellectual capital, and this covers a vast range of things. So a lot of it is called IP, intellectual property, and that can include trademarks, copyright, proprietary information, secret recipes. Think of KFC and Coca-Cola and their respective secret recipes for fried chicken and Coke. And also sort of the software, the code, the source code for a lot of things. Think about how Intel, what it knows about chip design. Some of this may be process information. It's not so much this is the product, but this is how we make the product or service. Think of companies like McKinsey or Bain, where they have a particular style of going out and understanding problems and then solving, and they use an intellectual framework to do that. And then finally, there's also all the intellectual resources in the form of customer databases. What do you know about your consumers, your users? Google knows a vast amount about people, and that is a key part of its competitive advantage. Customer database, who is in the market, who's not in the market. This is all critical information that can be considered as a key resource for you. And then finally, we're looking at human resources. So are there any particular people that you need to have in your organization for it to succeed? Are there any, is there a level of domain knowledge or experience that you need? So for example, you can't be a lawyer or have a law firm without having lawyers who have passed bar exams, similarly with doctors. So that's particular things. You can't really have a research and development organisation with a lot of very, very clever scientists and the human capital involved in that. And so there are, broadly speaking, 3 approaches to getting all these key resources. Right, you can own them. Yeah, start with a lot of small startups will own the human resources that they need. So you'll start your own business and you've had 25 years designing source code or telecom circuitry, and then you're selling that knowledge on as a consultant. So that's an example of where you own the knowledge that you need. Alternatively, if you're running a marketing firm, yeah, you may be good at sales, but you may decide, right, okay, I'm going to lease the designers and the branding experts, and they will come in and work for me on an ad hoc basis. So I'm leasing their knowledge or their resources. And you can lease intellectual, you can lease intellectual or physical capital just as well as you can do those. And then finally, you may have a joint venture where you're both contributing something. So I've been involved in joint ventures where people have contributed capital and inventory, and I've contributed a customer base and market knowledge, and together we then use that to create a profitable business. So these are the resources. Now, don't overthink this. Normally, when we're looking at key resources, I look at three to four, and what are the biggest resources that are going to make an impact for you? What is absolutely critical? Sometimes it might be, what are the resources that are going to give you an unfair advantage over the competition? You can think of it in that way. And this is one of those parts that over time will change. As somebody said to me the other day, experience is critical in my industry. When I got 5 years experience, I really wasn't stressing how important experience was in delivering a great solution. Now I've been doing it for 20 years, I stress it all the time. And so what you consider to be a key resource will change as your business grows and flourishes.